All right, get ready to dive deep because today we're taking a look at Melodies in My Head.
Oh, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, their debut album, Joy, Anger, Doubt, drops January 24th, 2025. And let me tell you, mark your calendars for this one.
Definitely one you won't want to miss. It's the creation of, well, you could say a dynamic duo.
Okay, tell me more.
So we've got Thomas Burkhalter, who, get this, is an
An
anthropologist.
anthropologist. Okay, interesting start.
Right, but wait, there's more. He's also an AV artist, so we've got that artistic side covered.
Double threat. All right, who else?
And then we have Daniel Jacob, a music producer with like a ton of experience under his belt.
So it's like a meeting of the minds, right? Anthropology, art, and music production all rolled into one.
Exactly. And what's really interesting here is how they're not just like generally exploring emotions. The album's title, Joy, Anger, Doubt, it directly reflects what Burkhalter observed during his ethnographic interviews. Can you believe that?
No kidding. So they're taking those raw human experiences and turning them into music.
Exactly. And we're not talking about interviewing people down the block. These interviews capture voices from around the world.
Like from where?
Think Africa, Asia, the Middle East, the UK.
Oh, wow. Talk about a diverse range of perspectives.
Right, and it's like they've created this sonic tapestry woven from the real lives and emotions of people all over. They even have Casey Moore from Accra
Oh, I've heard of them.
and Balbir Bushhangi from Birmingham.
Wow. It reminds me of anthropologist Tim Ingold's work. He talks about getting under the skin of the world, and it feels like Melodies in My Head are doing that, but like through music.
Oh, absolutely, and they're pushing the boundaries of storytelling through sound, too. Like, take their track, Pressure from All Sides.
Sure, from all sides.
Yeah, it uses actual snippets from the interviews to give a voice to the anxieties people feel in today's world.
Oh, wow. So you're listening to the music, and suddenly you hear someone from, say, Nairobi expressing their anxieties.
Yeah, like imagine that. It's about taking those personal moments of doubt and weaving them into this larger narrative.
That's super powerful, actually. It makes you think about how often, or really how rarely, we truly listen to voices from different cultures,
Mm.
you know?
That's what makes this project so fascinating. They're not just making music, they're creating understanding.
And they're doing it in a way that's sonically adventurous. They're not sticking to just one genre.
Oh, definitely not. Joy, Anger, Doubt is this like incredible mix of pop and club music, even throwing in elements of, well, what they call trash, believe it or not.
Trash. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. And to mix it all, they got Christopher Bird.
No way. The Christopher Burr.
The one and only. You know, the mastermind behind some iconic Depeche Mode and Fever Ray tracks.
Oh, I know Depeche Mode. Okay, now that's impressive.
Right.
But speaking of pushing boundaries, it's their commitment to ethical collaboration, especially with artists from the Global South, that really stands out to me.
Totally. Especially in an industry where artists can be taken advantage of.
Sadly, yeah.
It's refreshing to see them making sure everyone is compensated fairly, you know?
For sure. It really speaks to their values. That's awesome to hear. That commitment to fair compensation. It's like really
Yeah.
setting a positive example.
It really is. And that's something that comes through in those, what they're calling narrative songs.
Oh, yeah. Those narrative songs. The press release mentioned Randy Newman, right?
Yeah. They drew inspiration from his storytelling.
I love Randy Newman.
Yeah.
He's great at, like, exploring the human experience.
Exactly. And he uses character-driven narratives a lot, you know, often with some satire thrown in there.
Right. And it seems like Melodies in My Head is kind of following that path, too. Using those songs to tackle some, well, some pretty big questions, right?
Mhm. Definitely. And those song titles, like I World, Hit a Flamingo, and get this, The Sound of People Buying. Just reading the titles makes you think.
The Sound of People Buying. Oh, man. That one really got me. What about you?
Right. It's like, boom, right in your face. Makes you think about, like, consumerism, right? And the nonstop advertising we're bombarded with. It's social commentary, but, like, set to music.
It's really interesting how they're using those sounds to, like, hold up a mirror to society.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where the brilliance of this whole project comes in. They're not just here to entertain. They're looking to spark a conversation, make us challenge what we think we know, see the world differently.
I love that. And they blend these personal stories they gathered with, like, these global universal themes.
Yeah, you said it. They're finding those threads that connect us all, no matter where we come from.
It's like they're creating this sonic tapestry, this incredibly rich tapestry of the human experience.
Exactly. With all its ups and downs, contradictions, shared emotions, it's all there.
So we've got global sounds, raw emotions, Big questions being asked, ethical collaborations. What's the early buzz? Because I have a feeling this is going to be huge.
Oh, the early reviews, amazing. They're calling it adventurous, gleaming, even exciting concept pop music. It
Wow.
seems like they're really connecting with people who are like craving something new, something that stimulates the mind as much as it gets you moving.
That makes sense. I mean, it's not every day you find an album that blends anthropology and catchy beats like this.
Right. It's really refreshing to see a project that breaks the mold, pushes
Yeah.
those boundaries of what music can be.
Definitely. Okay, so before we get too carried away, we got to talk about the music itself. They've released some singles, right?
Yes. And they give a great taste of what to expect from the full album. You can find them on Bandcamp. Definitely check them out.
Man, I got to say, Birds from Above. That track is seriously something else. It's been stuck in my head all day. This whole project has me thinking about like the power of music in a whole new way.
Right. I think that's what's so cool about Melodies in My Head. They're not just making music, they're starting a conversation about how music can, like, connect different catchers, give a voice to people who haven't always been heard.
Yeah, and it's not like they're being preachy about it. It's just like there, woven into the music itself.
Exactly. It's not about forcing a message down your throat. It's about creating this, like, experience. It pulls you in and makes you think.
It really does. You know, it's funny, we always hear that music is a universal language, but I feel like we don't always actually listen to music from different cultures.
Oh, totally. And
Yeah.
that's what Melodies in My Head is reminding us. There's a whole world of music out there. And when we open ourselves to different sounds, we become more open to different ways of seeing the world.
It's like they're helping us learn a whole new musical vocabulary, and with that, a new way of understanding each other.
That's a great way to put it. And in a world that feels, well, honestly, pretty divided these days, Melodies in My Head gives us this message of, like, unity, empathy. It reminds us of the power of music to connect with each other.
Yeah. And they're not just talking the talk. Their commitment to ethical collaborations. That's huge.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see them prioritizing both the art and the way they're working together.
Totally. They're showing that you can create amazing, groundbreaking art and still be responsible. That's a really important message for the whole music industry.
Absolutely. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into Melodies in My Head, I'm feeling really excited to hear this album. It's going to be something special.
I completely agree. This isn't just an album, it's like this big cultural moment. And honestly, it's just the beginning of what I hope will be a much larger conversation.
Definitely. It's a
Yeah.
conversation worth having. So, to our listeners, we'll leave you with this. If music truly is the universal language, what new dialects are you ready to explore?